Hi, I'm here at Burlington Mall and I'm going to show you what you can do with a traditional wreath with bits and pieces that you can find at all the retailers in Burlington and to put together a wonderful wreath for the holidays. We have a traditional wreath here. I purchased this from Canadian Tire. This has got bits and pieces already on the wreath, so you're already halfway there. We're going to take some picks like this. You can find this at Bowring, at the Bay, in different versions. I'm going to be laying this across and I'm going to show you what the final product looks like. But what you're going to want to keep in mind when you're choosing interesting things for your wreath is look at textures, look at gold trim things, berries. You can see already how this is of an interest mixed with this. There's different textures that go on, which will in the end make your wreath very exciting. So we have put on our first layer. Our first layer is the green leaves that you can just intertwine in your wreath, and make sure when you're putting the stems that you just twist around a bit of the wired wreath to secure it down. The next stage is we'll get a little bit of texture, such as this, and what you want to do is just place it in there, move them around, put the leaves through it to make it look full. And you carry this around with the wreath that it's balanced. And a good trick of the trade actually is if you close your eyes for just a couple of seconds and open them, the very first spot that your guy goes to is actually the wrong spot. So that will be a spot that you're going to want to fill. So next you're going to add some sparkle, some texture into your wreath and just balance as you go. Here's a nice little area here, and what you're going to want to do is contrast as well. So you're going to have some gold up against the brown. And you just follow it on the roof, and it's all about balance. Canadian Tire, just so you know, has a great selection of artificial wreaths in different styles, and they also, of course, have the traditional, real, beautiful smelling wreath available as well. I purchased from Canadian Tire, and what I'm going to do with this one is jazz it up a little bit. We're not going to go traditional, we're not going to go too crystally, we're going to have it somewhere in the middle. We're going to start with these pieces and we're going to lay them down onto the wreath in a circular fashion. You always have those stubborn little spots. So that is phase one. The next stage is we're going to do color contrast, and this is a gorgeous purple to add against the green gold, and we're going to be placing these just behind for contrast. And make sure you spread out the branches as you work along. So place this in a circular motion, tucked in just behind the green branches. And in the end, you have a very stylish wreath that looks like hours of preparation, but actually it's quite easy. As long as you get the basics on how to lay it out, it ends up being beautiful. Third stage, you're going to want a few of these. Up to you of how many you want to do. It all comes to personal taste and how you want to style your wreath. This one here, so you can add this again in little bits and pieces where it's going to add some contrast and some depth. And of course you get covered with sparkle, but that's all part of the fun. In most places, and you know what, for balancing and color story, these are a lot of fun to work with. They're inexpensive and they really add a little spark to your projects. So with this one, having a bit of a curve to this is important because you have a wreath and you're going to want it to make it look as organic as possible. And I'd say we'd add maybe 3 of these. We have one there, and you work in a triangle. You're going to end up here. And I think that is a very, very stylish wreath that would make anybody extremely happy to receive that as a gift. So what we have here is we have a bit more stylish of wreath. It's not traditional, I wouldn't say it's funky, but it is very, very whimsical. And whimsical is an enchanting kind of piece to work with for the holidays as well. And I'm going to show you very simply what you can do to make this beautiful. First step that I'm going to do is I'm laying down the first layer of white. And you're just gonna stick those branches in. Some are easier than others, of course. You just wanna hold it in there. And you're gonna work with the roundness of the wreath. I've laid down the first layer of white. The second step I'm going to be doing is getting these wonderful little picks from Dollarama, and I'm going to set them in here in place. Again, remember to work with the singular motion of your wreath, and just plop them in there. So, spread out your branches. So I'm going to lift that up and show that to you there. So that again is just a simple wreath you can do in about 10 minutes, and just source around at your local stores and you will be able to find something. And there's amazing things here at Burlington Mall.